Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Better Banking Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Foster. The Better Banking Podcast is brought to you by Gain Federal Credit Union to fulfill our promise to share our financial knowledge for your financial gain. Now, I'm not the expert, but I know the experts. Visiting the podcast today to talk about home equity and home equity lines of credit is the mortgage lending and loan servicing manager of Gain Federal Credit Union, John Chevalier. John, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Eric. Glad to be here.
So, John, let's talk about home equity lines of credit, or as they're known in the industry, HELOCs. What is a HELOC and what is equity?
Basically, equity is how much your house is worth above what you owe. So an example would be if your house was worth $100,000 and you owed $50,000 on it, you would have $50,000 in equity. And a home equity line of credit or home equity loans in general allow you to borrow a percentage of that equity that you have on your property.
Because there's that difference between what I owe and what it's worth, I am able to take some of that money and perhaps use it?
That's right.
Why would I borrow from my equity in my home?
Well, a lot of people use it for home improvements, for more expensive items like tuition for their kids, large upcoming purchases. Sometimes people use it just to have a cushion. But the nice thing about it is it does, in some cases, have a tax advantage, meaning if you document what you use it for and it's used for home improvements, sometimes you can write that off in your taxes. The other advantage is that the rate and payment are generally substantially lower than a credit card or other loans. So you really get a break on a monthly basis.
That's what I was going to ask. Why wouldn't I just use my credit card to pay for those things?
Yeah, I mean, in most cases, those credit cards are 15, 18, 20%. Home equity lines of credit start at about 7.5. So substantial break in the rate there.
What else can I use my equity for? You mentioned possibly home improvements and tuition.
You control what you use it for. So we don't tell you what you use it for. You can use it for anything you want. A lot of people use it for home improvements just because they're typically bigger ticket items, things like a roof, paint, adding a room, doing an ADU, things like that. Usually they're above the credit limit that you would have on your normal credit card. So it's nice for that standpoint, like a big credit card.
It's like a big credit card. So what's an amount that I can get?
So the maximum line of credit that we offer is up to $500,000, meaning you can have a credit limit of $500,000. You can use any amount of that. So if you take out a credit limit of $500,000, you can use 1,000 of it. You can use 500,000 of it. But it's nice that you can go as high as that if you need it.
I can just draw from that amount?
With the home equity line of credit, you can take it out and not use it for 6 months while you're planning your project. And you don't start paying on it until you use it.
So why is right now a good time for members or non-members to come by and apply for a HELOC?
We have a couple of promotions. You mentioned one already. One is that we're raising our credit limits as high as $500,000 if you qualify. You don't have to use that much, certainly, but you can qualify for up to $500,000 in credit limit. The second promotion that we have is a 4.99% introductory APR for the first 6 billing cycles of your HELOC. And the nice thing is that if you plan on using your HELOC early, you'll get full advantage of that lower interest rate. But it is for the first 6 billing cycles. So once you hit billing cycle 7, it goes to the fully indexed rate, which currently is a minimum of 7.5%.
And what if I currently have a home equity line of credit with Gain? Would I be able to qualify for that 4.99 rate?
Absolutely. And the way that we would do that, we would refinance your existing line of credit with us with a new line of credit that has an introductory period and potentially the higher credit limit if you need it.
And if I don't bank at Gain currently, and I'm listening to this podcast, can I apply for that loan?
Absolutely. If you have a HELOC with another institution, we can refinance that loan with one of ours. Or if you don't have a HELOC at all, by all means, we can give you a new HELOC.
Is this a permanent thing? Is it limited?
Yeah, it's a limited time offer.
It could expire at any time. John, why is it that a rate for a HELOC seems to be a lot less than, say, a credit card?
They typically follow the same economic indexes. On the home equity lines of credit, the margin for the lender, us, is much lower than a credit card. The real basic on it is that home equity lines of credit, because they're tied to your property, are a lot less risky to an institution than a credit card is.
So does the rate for a HELOC stay the same all the time?
It doesn't. So it's an adjustable rate loan. It follows the prime rate, which actually a lot of the credit cards follow also. The big advantage is that the margin on over prime is much lower on a home equity line of credit due to the reduced risk. Credit cards typically are much higher.
The interest rate sounds great. Are there any other fees or costs associated with getting a HELOC?
In most cases, the HELOCs have no fees. There are some cases if we have an additional recording fee by the county, or maybe if your property is in a trust, you could have some additional fees. But for the majority of the home equity lines of credit, there are no fee.
And so let's say I have my HELOC and I have access to the money. How do I get the money?
The two most common ways are if you have a checking account with us currently, you can just transfer it into your checking account and either write a check or use your debit card like you normally would any other funds in your checking account. The other alternative is we have an Equity Gold MasterCard, which is tied directly to your home equity line of credit. So if you're going to Home Depot or another hardware store to buy supplies for your project, you just present it just like you would a credit card or debit card, and it goes right onto your home equity line of credit.
And I'll get a statement for that?
That's correct. You get a monthly statement just like you would a credit card or a bank account.
John, I want to get a HELOC. The people listening want to get a HELOC. What's the best way to get a HELOC from Gain FCU?
The easiest way to apply for one of our HELOCs is right on our website, gainfcu.com.
Thank you, John, for joining us today. That was great information, and I hope people get motivated to apply for a HELOC here at Gain.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it too.
Join us next time because, as you know, there's a lot to gain.
Hi, this is Aram.
And this is Sophia.
We're spending our summer as interns with Gain.
And we edited this episode so producer Rune wouldn't have to.
You think we're getting a bonus for this?
I thought that's why we were doing it.
Anyways, we have to tell you some things about the HELOC, or home equity line of credit.
Like, APR means annual percentage rate.
The 4.99% annual percentage rate is an introductory rate valid for the first 6 billing cycles from account opening, after which the APR will adjust to a variable rate based on the prime rate, the index, as published in the Wall Street Journal. Rate subject to change quarterly thereafter.
The maximum APR will not exceed 18%. Draws must occur within the promotional period to qualify for the promo rate. New HELOCs in primary residences only. Minimum and maximum loan amounts apply, subject to credit approval and Gain FCU policies and procedures.
Membership is required to obtain a HELOC. Offer is valid for a limited time and is subject to change without prior notice.
And not all applicants will qualify for the maximum limit of $500,000.
All home equity lines of credit are based on a 15-year term with principal and interest payments. Draw period is a 10-year draw period. After the draw period ends, the repayment period begins, up to 15 years. Single-family residents only, California, Arizona, and Nevada only. Not all applicants will qualify, no prepayment penalty. While you can use HELOC funds for a variety of needs, including home improvements, tuition, and major purchases, some purchases, like expenses on home renovations, may offer potential tax deductions. Ask your tax advisor for details. In many cases, we can refinance your existing HELOC to help you take advantage of the promotional rate. That's subject to credit approval and rate subject to change. Rates and terms mentioned in this podcast are accurate as of the recording date, but are subject to change without notice. Visit gainfcu.com/HELOC for the most current information. The views and opinions expressed by hosts and guests of the Better Banking Podcast are not those of Gain Federal Credit Union. Gain Federal Credit Union is insured by the NCUA and an equal housing lender. NMLS number 407810.
Gain Better Banking.